What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Broadway Joel. There's a lot going on in the sport of boxing. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, and that's because it's true. This last run of weeks of consecutive weeks where we're having big fight after big fight. This week we're not having a huge fight. It is one of the fighters is pretty much in a division where it's getting a lot of attention. The super middleweight division. It's where Canelo usually campaigns at. Jermell Charlo's rumors he's moving up. Jaime Munguia, his next fight is going to be at super middleweight. There's also potentially Boo Andrade going to moving up. So David Benavidez is going to be fighting David Lemieux this Saturday. It's not a big fight, but again, it's a significant enough fight because of who David Benavidez is and his potential future opponents. I don't think this is a competitive fight. Unfortunately, I don't understand what the WBC was doing in ruling this as a WBC interim fight for the winner to be the mandatory for Canelo. I don't know how David Lemieux warranted a fucking mandatory position, but hey, that's the way the WBC. Box Talk 101, what's going on, bro? Saludos, mi hermano. What's going on with Bill Haney? Yes, it's funny you mentioned that. I'll talk about that right now that you brought it up. So Bill Haney he's having trouble getting into Australia due to his past criminal record that he got convicted for back in 1992. So Australia, they're being very, very strict. This is a article written by yours truly. Well, not yours truly. Broadway Joel's channel's friend Jake Donovan, boxing scene. Bill Haney not yet permitted to travel to Australia. Yoel Judah to lead Devin Haney's corner for Camboso's fight. All right, so let me just skip over to the quote where he speaks about. All right. So the customs issue stems from a 30-year-old conviction when Bill Haney served time on a drug conviction in 1992. Australian visa rules states that felons who have served 12 months or more in prison are ineligible to qualify for an ETA, Electronic Travel Authority, or e-visitor visa required for short-term visits. Bill Haney stated in advance his past criminal record in hopes of avoiding the scenario, though the issue remains unresolved as of Wednesday afternoon. So basically what happened is Australia is very strict as who they let in the country as far as what their criminal records are, no matter how long it's been. They do give special privileges. I'm not sure why Bill Haney wasn't granted that special privilege, considering he's the trainer of a fighter who's going to be fighting for the Undisputed lineal lightweight championship fight in Australia. I believe this is a stadium fight. More than 20,000 people will be present. Like, this is a pretty big deal, and I don't understand how they didn't grant him an exception. In replacement to Bill Haney, it will be Yoel Judah, Zab Judah's father and former trainer, calling his corner. Yoel Judah, actually, it's funny. I got a funny story about Yoel Judah. He had a gym here in Brooklyn, and my brother went to spar there. And he actually broke a guy's arm sparring there. That's a story for another time. Matter of fact, let me tell you real quick. So my brother, my gym went over to Zab Judah's father's gym in Brooklyn. My gym is from Queens. Me and my brother, we from Brooklyn, but the gym we went to was in Queens. So we went over there. So the energy was kind of aggressive, kind of like, yo, these dudes from Queens coming to Brooklyn. So that's kind of like the energy, how that was in the gym. So my brother's a heavyweight, but my brother he's like very round, like a fat heavyweight, kind of like an Andy Ruiz. So people looked at him kind of like, oh, God, come on, man, this dude. But my brother, he's slick, like he can move. So they put him in with one dude, boom, boom. My brother washed him 2 rounds. He sparred with him 2 rounds. My brother beat him up. The guy, to be fair, the guy was like a cruiserweight or a light heavyweight. The guy wasn't a full heavyweight. So they were like, oh, we're going to throw this heavyweight in. So they threw a heavyweight in. But my brother had just sparred 2 rounds. He was kind of out of breath already. So my brother was sparring, boom, boom, throwing his jab, moving. And at one point, the guy swung real hard, and my brother just slipped it real quick, just slipped real back. The guy swung and broke his own arm. He literally, from missing a punch, broke his own arm. It's my story with Yoel Judah and his boxing gym here in Brooklyn. He don't have it no more, but anyways, that's who will be working Devin Haney's corner. Devin Haney, I mean, and Yoel Judah has a lot of experience in championship fights. He was in the corner for Zab Judah's most of his career, not all of it, but he had a lot of experience. Also has trained with a lot of people, local fighters here in New York City. So he definitely has a lot of experience. Bill Haney basically smuggled some white girl in '94. I don't know what you mean by white girl, unless you mean white girl is like that's your code word for cocaine. I don't know the exact details of his charges back, and it was in '92, not '94, according to the article written by Jake Donovan. But yeah, apparently he was involved in some, drug dealing back in '92, and he got caught and he served his time. And that was many, many years ago. The guy has now raised his son to become world champion. His son is in position to become the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, and he can't go work his son's corner. But good news about that is it's not yet set. Like, he's still trying to work and negotiate with the Australian government to grant him permission to go there. But if in the event he can't make it, Yoel Judah will be working his corner. Also, a lot of people are asking about Ben Davison, why he's not going to be over there. He's somebody who was in Devin Haney's training camp before. From what I understand, there was some situation where him and Daniel Kinahan has some business, and he's under that kind of bracket, and they're not letting him in as well. I'm not 100% sure about Daniel Kinahan's situation. Zerko, my guy, what's going on, my brother? Shout out to you. But yeah, that's why he's denied access to Australia. He says, nah, I read the case. Okay. So hold on. So Jody, you saying that he was involved in some human trafficking or drug trafficking? Correct me. You said white girl, so I don't know if you're using cold words and shit. I don't know where you from. To me, cocaine is either yayo, perico, or something like that. That's street terms that I've heard. I've never heard nobody call it white girl. But if that's what you mean, or unless you mean a literal white girl, and that's why he's under some human trafficking situation, that would be some fucked up shit. And I definitely would like for you to send me the article if that's true. Michelle, what's going on, brother? Shout out to you. Oh no, that's Michael. Michael, my man from Twitter. Shout out to you, my brother. Yeah, they kind of tripping. I do favor Kambosos regardless, though. His speed is a problem. Yeah, man. I was there live when he fought T. I definitely saw his hand and foot speed. So I agree. My man Jay says, yo, what do you think of Crawford saying who'll go up to fight Charlo for Undisputed at 154 if he beats Spence? I would love that, man. I would love that, because that would mean that Bud would literally have gone undisputed at 140. Let's say he beats Spence, he will be that he went undisputed at 147 and then moves up to Jermell to 154. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, beats Jermell Charlo at 154. That'll be a three division undisputed. That's gonna be a record that's hard to break. Put it like that. That will be a record that I don't see anybody breaking anytime soon. If he could do that, if he could become undisputed in 3 weight classes, sheesh. Oh, so Jody, all right, he's talking about coke. All right. Yeah, no, I mentioned that. Yeah, it was drug trafficking. But again, the guy got caught in 92, served his time. 92, that's 30 years ago. Literally. I'm not even how people be like, oh, exaggerate. Like, oh, bro, that was 30 years ago. And it was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But they just want to make a point that it was a long time ago. The guy got selling coke 30 years ago. And you're not going to let him in the country because of that? So the guy's a totally different person. Think of who you watching this video right now. Think of who you was 7 years ago. How much different you were than you are now. Imagine 30. That they being very, very, very unreasonable with that. Yeah, that will get you in the Hall of Fame. I don't care what people say. I mean, to be honest, Crawford may be a Hall of Famer already. He was lineal at 135, undisputed and lineal at 140. grab the belt at 147. But again, yeah, absolutely. I think that's an accomplishment that it would be very hard, very, very hard for people to say that they could break that record. If you're telling me he could go undisputed in 3 weight classes and add on top of that the other weight class he wasn't undisputed, he was lineal with a belt, bro. That's a great accomplishment. And Bud, it's unfortunate that people shit on his resume, which honestly I don't think is as bad as people make it out to be. Like his record, let's say, right? He beat Gamboa back when that meant something. He went to England and beat Ricky Burns, which people want to dismiss, but yo, you went to England. I'll give you extra points for that. But I remember when he fought Victor Postol, people saying, "Oh, this is gonna be a tough fight," and then he completely blanks him, and then it's like, "Oh, but who was Postol?" No, motherfucker, it don't work like that. He's somebody before the fight and after. No, you can't pick and choose when he's a somebody. So, yeah, he beat Postol, so I give him credit for that. And then goes undisputed. You could say it was a weak undisputed, and I'm not even gonna argue that it isn't. Crawford, listen, that 140 run was very weak. But you can only fight the guys you in front of you. You can't fight the guys who aren't. Get what I'm saying? If the guys who have the belt you deem weak, then that's just a matter of circumstance. You got to give him full credit for going undisputed. You can acknowledge, yeah, that was a weak undisputed, but fuck it, he still went undisputed. And what pisses me off now about this is that now the 140 division is so heavy. So had he been around this time, he really could have got some good fights. He could have fought the Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylors. Teofimo's moving up. Jose Cepeda, Regis Prograis. Who else is at 140? Point is, like, he could have had some more names where it would have actually meant something. And then, Haney's eventually going to move up. Tank is eventually going to move up. Ryan's eventually going to move up. And he would have had these opportunities to build his resume off that. But unfortunately, when he was there, the division is weak. But he fought everybody who was in his weight class who was good. You know what I'm saying? Who the best in his weight class he beat. But yeah, man. Also, I want to talk about Jaime Munguia, and I hate talking about this fucking duck. Hold on, before I share this article. Y'all know every time I talk about Jaime Munguia, this duck gotta come out, because this is Jaime Munguia, the biggest duck in boxing, man. This dude is now fighting. He moved up in weight. I don't know if it's just for this fight, because he had trouble making weight in his last fight, but he's fighting at 168 against Jimmy Kilrain Kelly at the Honda Center in Anaheim, June 11th. That's actually the same day that Edgar Berlanga is going to be fighting here in New York against Romer Alexis Angulo. But yeah, Jaime Munguia is now going to be fighting another guy that we don't care about. Let's be honest. Nobody knows this guy. Nobody cares about this guy. Nobody asked for this fight. Meanwhile, this fight's available to him. He could have went to Showtime for Charlo. He could have fought Boo Boo when he was the WBO mandatory. And then since he did it, Boo Boo decided to move up. All right. And he didn't fight Janet back for the WBO interim. So he didn't do that. He could have asked the WBC to fight Carlos Adames at 160 for the limited to become the mandatory to Carlos Adames. But yeah, he's fighting these guys we don't give a shit about. I don't understand what they're doing with his career or what he's choosing to do with his career. But he's looking crazy out here in these streets. He's not even fighting people he's not even fighting D-class fighters, man. He's fighting truck drivers and fucking plumbers and electricians. If you got a union card, you might fight. You might fight Jaime Munguia. They might just be like, you might be walking into work punching in. Anyway, yo, how much you weigh? I weigh about 168 pounds. Yeah. You're gonna fight Jaime Munguia. We're gonna pay you good. What? Yeah, that's how they picking fucking Jaime Munguia's opponents, man. The shit is getting ridiculous. That man is the biggest duck in boxing. This will forever be in your history. That Broadway Joel pulled out a fucking duck and called you that. Your choice of opponents is horrible, bro. I'm not getting off his neck. Every time I talk about Jaime Munguia, I gotta talk about how he's the biggest duck in boxing. Biggest duck in boxing. Hold on, I ain't even pinned the link to the top of the chat, man. I know some of y'all want to call in and have a conversation with me, ask me any questions, or just, chop it up. But yeah, what else is going on? Also, by the way, this Saturday's card, the David Lemieux, David Benavidez card. Luis Reynaldo Nunez, my Dominican brother. I got to talk about the Dominicans. Is going to be fighting Jonathan Fierro. These are two undefeated fighters. Fierro is, first of all, this fight is a sneaky good fight. Like, it might be a war. These are two offensive fighters, two power punchers. And the only thing is, Fierro, he's only 18, so he's a young guy, but he's really aggressive, wild at times, but definitely not like a talented fighter. I'm really excited to see what he does in this fight and how much he pushes Luis Reynaldo Nunez. This is going to be a tough fight for him. His first time, well, not his first time, excuse me. I believe this is his third undefeated fighter in a row. So he's really going at it. He's really trying to move up and fight somebody. Let me check how many undefeated fighters in a row this would be, because I'm really impressed by his handlers being willing to move him quick, because a lot of times these dudes get babied. And he's young himself. He's I believe he's 23 or 22. Oh, 1 second. But anyways, by the way, I pinned the link to the top of the chat, guys. So if you guys want to call in, please do. We can have a conversation. You can ask me any questions, or we could go back and forth. Yeah, so he is 22 years old, and this will be his third undefeated fighter in a row. And his last fight, he beat Carlos Arrieta in a 10th round TKO. The fight before that, he fought Javon Garnett 10-0, and he beat him by a 10-round decision. All three scorecards was 100 to 90, so meaning he blanked him. I'm really high on this kid. I love his offensive style. I find it very entertaining. And hopefully he could bring a championship to DR, man. Y'all know for sure I'm always going to be pounding the table for my Dominican fighters and letting people know that we out here, man. We used to be the laughing stock of boxing, and I feel like we come in making a resurgence. But yeah, let's talk about Jermell Charlo's fight last week, by the way. That fight I found it to be one-sided. I forgot my exact scorecard. I was scoring the fight while I was watching it live. And at one point I was like, damn, I'm giving this guy way too many rounds in a row. And I think that it was a very competitive fight, but it was still one-sided. I think Castaño was very limited in his attack. He just kept kind of just walking forward, didn't really have a creative way of cutting off the ring or pressing Charlo. But at times where he would get close to Charlo, he would have success in these exchanges. I just felt Charlo was the more powerful puncher, as well as the better boxer, to be quite honest. His footwork was better, his jab. And he just, if you watch my live where I watched the fight and broke it down as it was going on, I kept mentioning, I was like, damn, Charlo's putting everything in that left hook. And Castaño's not doing nothing. Castaño's just getting hit with that left hook, and then boom, in that, I want to say it was the 10th round, boom, dropped him really hard. And when he got up, I thought they should have stopped the fight there, but it was an undisputed fight, so I'm not going to go too hard on the referee. You get to that point, you're fighting for all the belts, Lemieux, you know what I'm saying, probably his biggest payday. You got to give the guy a chance to go out on his shield, and, the fight ended soon after that anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. Nothing serious happened to Castaño, thank goodness. But Charlo really showed a lot of boxing skills. He was a lot more active than he was in the first fight, and I felt like he had more of a game plan as opposed to in the first fight. It was kind of like he was going off what Castaño was giving him. This time he was like, no, you're gonna go off of what I'm giving you, and his movement really gave Castaño trouble. But Castaño, man, his lack of head movement, man, it was embarrassing, to be quite honest. And I hate to criticize somebody so bad, but he just kept getting hit with that left hook. And it wasn't like Charlo wasn't loading up. Charlo was throwing with everything he could. He at no point did he time it to step back and throw a right hand, or catch and shoot, or slip under and come back with an overhand right. It was just like he was always there for that left hook, and that was his demise, to be honest with you. But congratulations to Jermell Charlo, by the way. He is the first 4-belt era undisputed champion at 154. That was, when you're the first at anything, is pretty impressive. And this is the era of the undisputed. So it's I feel like we're going to get a lot of firsts. We're going to get the first welterweight champion at the 4-belt era. We're going to get the first, was lightweight? Yeah, we're going to get the first lightweight. Well, depends if you count Teofimo. Some people do, some people don't. I'm not going to have that conversation. But, yeah, we're going to get a lot of undisputed fights this in this era with Bill Haney. Bill Haney. Devin Haney versus George Kambosos is coming up in June 5th, which unfortunate. Well, as of right now, because things could change within the next couple weeks. As of right now, Bill Haney is not going to be in his son's corner, which is pretty fucked up because, right, you train your son since he's a kid to become a world champion, right? Then in the biggest fight in his career in a foreign country for undisputed, for lineal, against another undefeated fighter, you can't see it live. You have to watch it on TV like you just some other dude, like you just Broadway Joel, like you just Big Zirko, like you just Jody High Roller, like you got to watch it on TV just like one of us, and that's your son. That's fucked up, man. I hope that gets corrected because that's something. I want him to have that experience. Whether Devin wins or loses, I want him to be there with his son. And that has nothing to do with me being a Devin fan or me not being a fan. That's just me being a father. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I want him to be there for that moment. That's a pretty big moment in his son's life. And I want him to be there for that. So hopefully the Australian government realizes, this guy got caught in 1992 selling drugs. You know what I'm saying? Served this debt to society, and now has become a productive member of society, produced a son that's now a world champion, is coming to the country. Let's let this guy in. Let's let this guy have his moment with his son and watch his son potentially become champion, or potentially, console his son after a loss. I don't think that's asking for too much. Michael Blunt is on crack right now because he says Elvis wants no smoke with Matias. Just saying. I don't know, man. Listen, your boy Subriel Matias needs to focus on Jeremiah Ponce, man. Don't. He's ranked number 2 in the IBF. Matias is ranked number 2. Ponce is ranked number 1. So meaning when the eliminator gets called, that's who he's gonna have to fight to see who fights Josh Taylor. So if I'm him, I'm focusing on that. Don't focus on Elvis Rodriguez, who can fuck his ass up. You know what I'm saying? But by the way, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If anybody wants to call in, have a conversation with me, all you gotta do is press that link. It'll bring you to a website. We can have a conversation. You can ask me anything, and yeah. But that's crazy though that they're not letting Bill Haney in Australia. But again, hopefully he still got time. He still has time. But what are you guys excited about? Talk to me in the chat. Come on, Michael. I'm not even gonna address that, man. The chat trying to troll me. What do you guys want to talk about? There's plenty of boxing we could talk about. I'm actually really bringing back to Canelo from the fight 2 weeks ago. After the fight, he said he was like, "Oh no, this doesn't stay like that. We're gonna fight. I'm gonna have a rematch with Bivol." But there's been no rumors as, "Oh no, we're negotiating the fight," or "No, this has happened, that has happened." Nothing has happened right now. So I want to know, is Canelo serious about exercising that rematch clause? To be honest, I wouldn't exercise that rematch clause if I'm Canelo, just move on. You're not beating that guy. And it's not because you can't beat him because he's, I just think that guy's too big for you. He's not your weight class. You know what I'm saying? Fight at 168 against Triple G or whoever the zone could come up with to give to you. Fight those guys, and then in the future maybe move up to 175 again to fight him when you grow into that division. But right now you're not a 175 pounder. And to be fair, even if he wasn't, like, I don't know, I feel like Bivol just had a really good game plan with that high guard and that foot movement. So he could give him problems anyways. Kovalev finna become a cruiserweight champion. Yeah, listen, Kovalev, he was a good fighter back in his prime days. He was a really, really good fighter. Unfortunately, he got caught with PEDs, and then there's rumors of him being an alcoholic, and there's a lot of damage that he's done to his body, which I don't know if he could recover well. But apparently, he was having trouble making that weight, and him moving up to cruiserweight, is making him feel stronger, more refreshed, and that may have been it. So I don't know. I'm not going to discount it because, again, what I seen from Kovalev throughout his prime years was very impressive. And honestly, the cruiserweight division, there's no killers there. There's nobody like there's no Alexander Usyk. There's good fighters. Don't get me wrong, but there's no world beaters. Like if Kovalev beat Makabu, would I be super surprised? No, I don't think he does. I think Kovalev is a bit past it, but I don't discount it. I'm not going to dismiss that being a possibility. But so also on the undercard of this Saturday of David Benavidez versus David Lemieux is Yoelvis Gomez Cota and Richardson Hitchens as well. But Richardson Hitchens, he's fighting Angel Sarana Rodriguez. I don't think that's honestly going to be a televised fight. Rodriguez is 12-10-3. I doubt they televise that. Oh, is Victor Ortiz? That can't be the same Victor Ortiz. Oh, Vicious Victor Ortiz. The Victor Ortiz that fought Mayweather, he's fighting on this undercard, but he's fighting a guy who's 20-19-1. So that's probably also not going to be a televised fight. So this is a triple header. It'll have Luis Reynaldo Nunez versus Jonathan Fierro, Yoelvis Gomez versus Jorge Cota, which that should be a interesting fight because Yoelvis Gomez is only 5-0, and he's fighting Jorge Cota, who Jorge Cota is definitely not a bum, and he's 30-5. You find a guy with 35 fights and you only have 5 fights. That's pretty impressive. And then the main event, I'm not too crazy about, to be honest. True, David Benavidez versus David Lemieux. I actually was a big David Lemieux fan back when he was fighting on ESPN. And believe it or not, I bought that hype, man. The hype that ESPN was pushing on David Lemieux, putting him on all the time. I actually bought that hype. I thought he was going to be a really, really good fighter. There was one year I thought he should have been prospect of the year. That's how much I was buying in. But he ended up not, panning out the way I thought that he was gonna, as well as the way ESPN was promoting him. And so I think he's past it. He's been knocked out already. How many times he's been knocked out? He's been knocked out twice. Then he's only 33. He's not even that old. I thought he was older than that. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, he got knocked out pretty brutally by not brutally, but he got pounded out by Gennady Golovkin. That just memory just sticks to my head. I remember him getting also knocked out by Marco Rubio. I like that. Excuse me. I used to like him a lot, but I think he's done. He's taken way too much punishment. Mel the Maker, one of the best boxing channels. My brother, I totally appreciate that. I I really, really do, man. I appreciate the kind words, man. Michael Blunt says, should Erickson Lubin retire? I mean, he's very young. How old is Erickson Lubin? Hold on, let me find that out. But Erickson Lubin is young, really young. Yes, he did get knocked out brutally by Charlo, and he then went to a war with Fundora. Ended up getting stopped, where his face looked like Martin when he fought Thomas Hearns. But I'm looking. He's only 26 years old. If I'm him, I take a year off. A year off is a good amount of time, and then come back, fight. I don't want to say a bum, but a guy who's fallen off the cliff. Kind of like at the end of his career. Fight a guy like that, beat him, gain back your confidence, and slowly work your way up. Don't put him back in with a killer, but he needs like a year and a half off. Just enjoy your money. I'm sure he was compensated real well in the Fundora fight. He probably got paid somewhere like 600,000, 800,000, somewhere around that range. I have no idea what exactly he got paid, but I'm assuming for a title eliminator, that's how much he got paid. So no, I don't think he should retire. Take a long break, come back, fight 2-3 easy fights, and then get back into title contention, man. 26 is really, really young, and again, it was only 2 fights where he took a lot of punishment. And in the first round knockout, he didn't really take punishment. He just got knocked out pretty savagely, which is obviously not good for your health. But it was definitely he didn't take an accumulation of shots. It was just one quick one. But that Fundora fight, he did get beat up pretty bad. But no. To answer your question, no. He did get his head lumped up pretty bad. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. He did. Big Zirkle says, nah, he shouldn't get he shouldn't retire, which I agree. Lubin versus Dennis Hogan. Listen, before we even start saying names, Lubin needs a long layoff, man. Give that man a year and a half off. He's 26. In a year, he'll be 27. Let's say he takes 2 years off, he'll be 28. Like, that's still enough time to make a comeback. Obviously, you don't want to make the break too long, which is why I didn't say 2 years. 1 year, 1 year and a half, come back, fight 2-3 guys who aren't that, high in the rankings, and work your way up. You can't throw him back at the top. That for sure you can't do. Because, one more fight like that, then he will need to retire. Especially if it's soon after his last fight. But guys, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you guys want to call in, please do. I love it when you guys call in. Also, by the way, this Saturday, Janibek is going to fight Danny Dignam for the WBO interim championship. So if Boo Boo decides to move up to 168 and vacate, the winner of that fight will automatically become the WBO middleweight champion. And on the undercard, you got Jermell Herring fighting Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz is actually not a bum. He's somebody who's fought on Showbox. I believe he had a draw with, what's his name? Joseph Adorno. He's a really, really good fighter. Does he beat a Jermell Herring? I don't know, but a lot of people are down on Jermell Herring. People don't think he's as good as, him being a champion and all this, and Olympian. People think he's just a bit overrated. I'm not here to comment on that, but Jermaine Ortiz is definitely somebody that'll prove to us. If he can't beat a Jermaine Ortiz, then he needs to retire. Put it like that. Because Jermell Herring is, how old is he? Hold on. Yeah, he's 36. So if you can't beat a Jermaine Ortiz, it's time for you to hang him up. And that's not me being mean. That's not me being, like ignorant about his skills. If you can't beat a Jermaine Ortiz, a guy who he had a draw with Joseph Adorno, who got beat by pretty easily too by Michelle Rivera, I think it's time for you to hang him up. Also, in the UK, for my UK followers, I actually have a lot of subscribers from the UK. Joshua Buatsi is going to be fighting Craig Richards in a fun domestic brawl. I actually like this fight a lot. Light heavyweight is the division I would have fought at if I was, to pursue a professional career. That's about the size I would be fighting at. So I always have like a sore spot for the light heavyweight division. This is a good scrap. It's going to be one that a lot of us Americans, maybe we're not privy to. Maybe we're not going to be that excited about. But hey, if it's in the afternoon and you're not doing nothing, you want to see a fun fight, I think you should tune into this one, man. Tune into this one. If you got the zone, then it's free for you. You know, you already paid for it. You already got the subscription. Watch that fight. Then later on in the night, you can watch the Benavidez fight. You can watch the Janibek fight. And you can have a full day of boxing tomorrow if you really wanted to. Hey, man, talk about Jaime Munguia duck ass. He's fighting the mechanic that fixed my car. That fixed my car last week. Yo, that's hilarious. You probably just hopped on. I had just mentioned, yo, he's only fighting people who have full-time jobs. If you got a part-time job, he don't want you. If you got a full-time job and you can make 160, 168, you may be eligible to fight Jaime Munguia because he is not fighting anybody worth a fuck. I don't know. That man is the biggest duck in boxing, bro. Jaime Munguia gets no respect from me. And people want to say, oh, but that's not him. That's his promoter. And some of it might be true. But at some point, bro, you're the fighter, man. Take a fucking stand. Yo, I'm not fighting nobody. Yo, Carlos Adames is a good fighter. You know, I'm not saying he's a world beater. I'm not. And I never said that. Carlos Adames never even been a world champion. Yo, put me to fight him for an eliminator so I could be Charlo's mandatory. And then, you know, we could do a purse bid against Charlo and see who get what network gets that fight. Or you could be like, oh, you know what? Let me fight. When you had the opportunity to fight Boo Boo because you was his mandatory, you could have fought him. And then, oh, but you ain't choose to do that. All right, but then they gave you the option of fighting Janibek for an interim, and you denied that. It's ridiculous with Jaime Munguia, what's happening with his career, whether it be his manager, his promoter, his trainer, or himself. And to be honest, I have to blame him. I have to blame him. Everybody, believe me, everybody is guilty. His manager, his promoter, and himself. Those three people, they're all guilty. But as of right now, I have to blame him mostly. You the fighter, man. I haven't heard you even complain about the fights that you get. Like, I haven't heard you call nobody out. I haven't heard you do nothing. Though he beats, what's his name? Rosado, and the first two names out of his mouth is Deverenchenko and Triple G. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, and don't get me wrong, I understand you calling out Triple G because that's a big fight. But you knew you wasn't getting that fight. You knew you could have got the Boo Boo fight. You knew you could have got the Adames fight. You possibly could have gotten the Charlo fight had you negotiated a certain way. But you ain't chose to go that route. And for whatever reason, I don't understand it. I listen, and the thing is, he was champion before. It's not like this guy is like, you get what I'm saying? A 22-year-old prospect, and I'm bullying him. No, motherfucker, you was a champion at 154. You was you're currently number one in the WBO and WBC, and you're not petitioning to be anybody's mandatories. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. I feel like I'm the only one who notices how bad Jaime Munguia's career is being moved. Because anytime his name gets brought up, people just go, oh, yeah, you know, he's in that situation. I'm the only one that be flipping out. I'm the only one that calls him the biggest duck in boxing. I'm the only one. Listen, I bought a fucking duck, because of how disappointed. Out of my own pocket, bro. When I bought that, I had a son on the way, bro. That money I could have bought for formula. That's money I could have bought a onesie with. I decided to buy a duck for how bad Jaime Munguia is fucking, you know, selecting his opponents. Come on, man. Yeah, Zerko, he got 39 fights. How is this happening? Seriously. Like, I don't know. And I'm not the one, and I'm also not the one to keep quiet about it. Listen, if something is happening, somebody's ducking, I'm calling it out. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and speaking of that, I don't know if you guys watch $1 Million Worth of Game with Gilly the Kid and Wallow. These are two brothers. Gilly he's a former rapper, and Wallow he's his cousin, who Gilly the Kid's cousin, and he did 20 years in prison, but now he's a podcaster. They asked Gervonta Davis, hey, man, you know, we want to see you in big fights. We want to see you fight Devin Haney. We want to see you fight Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. What do they say to you when you go to their office and you tell the promoter, yo, I want these big fights? And he goes, I don't even go in the office and ask for these fights. So you got him not asking for fights, yo. It's crazy, man. You got, probably the biggest name in the lightweight division not asking for the big fights. He's just fighting for whoever they put in front of him, and they putting Rolly in front of him. A fight nobody asked for. And they want to say it's a mandatory because of the WBA interim and WBA regular, but we would have rather have seen you jump into a Haney fight or jump into a Ryan Garcia fight. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't understand. But yeah, like I said all that to say this is that I got no hair on my tongue. If something happens where I feel a fighter is ducking somebody, or a fighter is not trying to fight nobody, then I'm not gonna sit here and be quiet about it. I'm gonna talk about it. And Jaime Munguia is one of them. Gervonta Tank Davis, he's one of them. Who else? Charlo. When he's telling Benavidez, yo, go get a belt. If you want me to fight you, go get a belt. Go get a belt. But the guy you fighting in Selecki don't got a belt. Come on, man. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. But yeah, man, I can't. By the way, link is pinned to the top of the chat. You talk about you unsubscribing, Michael. You ain't going nowhere. You know damn well you ain't going nowhere. That's my guy. You ain't going nowhere. Call in if you got a problem with what I'm saying, man. I know Tank your favorite fighter, but also know that Tank not fighting the people we want to see him fight for whatever reason. For whatever reason, there's a lot of reasons why he's not getting those fights. We not getting those fights, but listen, man, make it make sense. Why is it that we as fans are sitting here wanting for you to fight people and you're not even asking for it? You get what I'm saying? You just satisfied with getting with what you getting, man. And by the way, Tank ain't no spring chicken. I think Tank is older than Jaime Munguia. Let me check that. If I'm not mistaken, Tank is either 27. I think he's 27 years old, and Jaime Munguia is 25. Hold on, let me check this right quick. Yeah, Gervonta's 27. Let me check Jaime Munguia. And Jaime Munguia is... And Jaime Munguia is 25. So these guys ain't young. And both are former world champions, by the way. So it's not like, yo, bro, these guys are up-and-coming contenders. These guys are 21, 22. These are both guys in their mid to late 20s. Like, Papito, it's time for you to get in some real fights. Like, this is not what this is the golden era of boxing. You understand what I'm saying? This is the golden era of boxing. And when your contemporaries are going Undisputed and Canelo, and then Crawford did it at 140, and Usyk did it at cruiser, and Jermell did it at 154. And, when you're not doing something, it's gonna look fucking bad when we looking back in history. Like, oh, this is the Undisputed era. This is when it started. All right, what was these guys doing? What was Charlo doing? What was Munguia doing? What was Tank doing? What was Boo Boo doing? What was Benavidez doing? We're gonna look, and it's not gonna look good in your history, man. Especially with the type of interviews you guys are giving, man. Like, again, I'm gonna be this video gonna be on the internet forever. Me talk about you guys. You know what I'm saying? Don't have people come back in 20 years, click and go, damn, man. They was looking crazy back in 2022. Look at this YouTuber talking about how bad they was looking out here in these streets. Like, for real, man. Y'all better get on it. Y'all better get on this shit, because don't make me buy a second duck. Don't make me buy a second duck. I'll fucking start naming them. I'll be like, yo, this one's Munguia, this one's Charlo, this one's Tank. I'll start going crazy with it. But by the way, guys, I sound like a broken record, but if you guys want to call in, please click the link to the top of the chat. I'll gladly have a conversation with you, answer any questions you guys want answered. And yeah, man. Trying to have some fun with it, man. But the week after this Saturday, we got Tank versus Rolando Romero. I'm excited for that fight. The reason why I'm excited for that, not necessarily that for that fight, reason I'm excited for that event is because I'm gonna be there live. This is gonna be the first time I see Tank live. They're both big punchers, so I'm pretty sure a knockout is gonna happen, regardless of which way. I'm not too excited about the undercard, to be honest with you. I thought there's only one fight on the undercard that I like. Let me. By the way, it's also an embarrassment. This is a fucking pay-per-view, man. How the hell is that a pay-per-view? You got Arislan Lara versus Gary O'Sullivan. Come on, man. How is that like that? That's a shame. But I do like that Jesus Ramos versus Lucas Santa Maria. I do like that fight. That fight to me is probably going to be a little bit of a barn burner, a little bit of a war, and that's one fight I'm excited for. But come on, how the hell is this dude? What's his name? Lara fighting Gary O'Sullivan? That is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Jaime Munguia had a deal in place to face Shane Mosley Jr. on June 11th. A source told Mosley backed out of the deal this week. I'm told Golden Boy needed to keep the date, so they pivoted to Kelly. That's interesting. I would have liked. I still would have I still would have preferred him fight somebody better, like a Charlo or Dames or Triple G or any of those guys. But Shane Mosley is interesting to me only because he had a really, really good performance against Rosado his last fight. And to be honest, I feel like he beat him better than Jaime did. He came out in those title gloves and really, really boxed good. He was looking really good in that ring. Showed a lot more movement and smoothness and dipping and dodging and boxing IQ, a lot more than he's shown in the past. I'm not sure if he's now honing in to who he is as a fighter. He's now figuring it out due to the fact that he got started boxing late, but he looked really, really good in his last fight. I really liked how he looked in his last fight. And it's somebody who the American public is actually familiar with. But this dude, Kelly, come on, man. Like, I to be honest, I never heard of Jimmy Kelly. No disrespect. He may be a decent fighter, but I never heard of him. And how am I supposed to get excited for a fight that I don't know, never heard of the opponent? You know what I'm saying? I heard of Shane Mosley. I've seen Shane Mosley fight before. Hold on, my laptop. I forgot to put the charger in. Hold on 1 second, fellas. But yeah. So I've seen those Shane Mosley fight. I don't know. I'm confused because Janibek is fighting for the WBO interim belt, but Munguia is number one. Yeah, they offered. If I'm not mistaken, Janibek, where does he rank? Let me check. I believe he's ranked number 2 in the WBO. Let me double check that. I'll break that down for you, Muhammad. Why that worked out the way it did. I just want to make sure Janibek was ranked number 2. Yeah, Janibek was ranked number 2, right? So what the WBO ordered Jaime Munguia and Janibek to fight for the interim title. Janibek said he ain't want it. He said, no, I'm not interested. So what they did is it was like, all right, so the number 1 guy is refusing to fight the number 2 guy. So now the number 2 guy is going to fight the number 3 guy and Danny Dignam. And that's why they're fighting for a vacant interim, bro. And what was supposed to happen was Boo Boo was going to fight at 168 for the WBO interim super middleweight championship. And then after that fight, he was going to decide whether moving down or staying at 168. If he would have stayed at 168, he would have been the WBO mandatory for Canelo. And if he was at 160, his mandatory would have been Janibek, or the winner of Janibek, Danny Dignam. But looks, I don't know what's going on with Boo Boo, to be honest. He said he's He pulled out due to injury, and now the WBO is no longer going to sanction the fight between Zach Parker and Demetrius Andrade. I don't know what's his situation. The guy can't catch a break, man. Kind of feel bad for Boo Boo, but hey, man, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, I hope I clarified that for you, Muhammad. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, man, if you got guys, call in, man. Hold on. Munguia has ducked Jermell Charlo and Andrade. Hey, man, listen, man. Like, you're not gonna get me here to defend Munguia, man. Listen, he's the biggest duck in boxing. He's the biggest duck in boxing. And what's weird is the guys he's ducking or avoiding or not willing to fight, that some of them ain't even killers like that. Dama's not a killer. Janabek not a killer. I wouldn't even say Boo Boo's a killer. Boo Boo is a tall, awkward fighter, but I wouldn't say he's a dangerous puncher who, people should stay away from. That's not how I would describe Andrade. Andrade's a decent fighter, but I wouldn't describe him as a killer. No, I don't know. I would call in, but I get nervous. Nervous about what? Call in, bro. Just click that link. I'm not gonna. I only scream on people when they deserve it, and you always on my chat respectful, so you ain't gonna get screamed on. By the way, shout out to the Yankees, man. First place, best record in all of baseball. They the only place that gets free promotion on my channel. All right, we got a caller. We got somebody here who knows that Subriel Matias will get knocked out. What's going on, Michael? Yo, Michael. Yeah, I don't hear you. Is it my nah? Michael, what's up, brother? What's up with your mic, man? You got that. Yo, Zirkle, don't get kicked out the live, man. We just got the best record in all of baseball. Juan, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I don't know if you're watching this through YouTube. On the chat, there's a link right on top of it. Just click that link. It'll take you to a website. And then from there, you can we can have that conversation. Yo, but yeah, disconnect those, man. The same way Matias is gonna get his disconnected once he fight fucking Elvis Rodriguez. Nah, you know what's funny? I don't even like dislike Subriel Matias. I just think somebody had brought up to me who I forgot how that conversation started, but I think somebody asked me if I think Subriel Matias could beat Elvis Rodriguez, and I said no. And then it just turned into a whole thing. Then a bunch of Puerto Rican Twitter followers started like DMing me, started hitting me up in Spanish. I'm over here arguing, tweeting back and forth in Spanish. And then it just became a whole thing where every time I was on a Twitter space, somebody would argue with me that he doesn't beat Elvis. So it kind of seems like I'm a Subriel Matias hater, which I'm not. All right, hold on. I got Michael.
Yo, can you hear me now, bro?
Yeah, I hear you now. What's going on, brother?
All right, man. I'm gonna need you to cool out, man, with that talking you talking, man.
He's a big Subriel Matias fan. He can't accept the truth.
Hey, man. Hey, Joe. Let me ask. Where Elvis ranked at, man? Where he ranked at?
Don't worry about where he ranked. Don't worry about where he ranked at.
Say that boy go get his win back from Kenneth Sims.
Don't worry about where he ranked at. Just know I'm telling you, he's the future of boxing, man. He the future of the Dominican boxing, bro.
Nah, I like him too, man. Nah, really, I do. I tell you, when I saw Elvis knock that dude out with a jab, I think that was then the quarantine.
Yeah, it was in the bubble. It was that I think that was the first time I seen him fight. I was like, yo, who's that?
Yeah, bro. I was like, bro, who is this? I was like, man, I went to his Instagram. I followed him right after that. When he knocked that dude out with a jab, that's when I followed him. I've been following him ever since then.
It's funny. I remember when I was interviewing him, you had asked me to ask him Like, oh, ask him if he's right-handed. I think he is because there's way too much power in that right hand. Those hooks, those uppercuts, and then that jab. That I think he's right-handed, and he just feels more comfortable in the southpaw stance.
Shit, nothing wrong with that. That's I think what's his name does that too. The other Russell brother, the one that's in his division.
Antoine Russell.
Yeah, he does that too. Because if you see, man, he don't even throw his left hand. He just throws the right.
Yeah. Well, also Cotto, he's left-handed. Used to fight orthodox.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Oscar De La Hoya is lefty, but orthodox. There's a lot of fighters who feel more comfortable in the opposite because their lead hand is their power hand, and they think like, all right, I rather, 70% of your punches are being landed by your lead hand. So if you can make that your dominant hand,
shit, I think Lomachenko does that too.
Yeah, you think Loma's righty? I actually don't
think so. I don't know though, man. Speaking of Loma, man, I hope he's doing good. I hope to see him back in the ring, man.
Yeah, man. It's kind of fucked. It was kind of like at the worst time that he caught this fucking this war, whatever, that he has to be out there, and it was like right after the worst time. He was getting ready to fight Kambosos as the WBO mandatory, and then
I think he would have stopped Kambosos, bro.
Oh, me too, man. That's what I'm saying. He lost out on that chance to become the lineal lightweight champion, all because of a fucking war that he has nothing to do with. And he's probably out there just wearing army fatigues, not doing nothing. Like, it's not like he's really out there in war, really out there shooting and killing people and, freeing hostages. Like, what is he doing out there?
I mean, shit, man. They let Usyk leave, man. He might as well get up out of there too, man. I mean,
well, with Usyk is they in Ukraine, they said if you had more than 3 children under the age of 18, I think, you were allowed to leave the country for asylum as a man. And if I'm not mistaken, Lomachenko only has 2 children. So I don't know, but it's just, I don't know. Like, Lomachenko's in his mid-30s too. Taking a long break like that may not be the best thing for his career, especially somebody who relies on, quickness and reflexes and it's, I don't know. It came literally at the worst possible time of his career.
Man, that shit, it does suck because I was hoping, Shakur, man, after seeing that, man, I always wanted to see Loma Shakur, but now I just don't know if that'll happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, because who knows how long he's out in Ukraine out there.
His mental, man, that's why I kind of I like Joshua, man, but I feel like he can't. I don't know if he could do nothing with Usyk, like style wise. But I was saying, man, his best chance might be now, because Usyk's mental might not be the man. But I don't know, man. Joshua just disappointed me, man. I'm not a Joshua fan no more, man. It sucks,
bro. Like honestly, you remember back? I want to say it was 2018, back when Joshua and Wilder were about to fight. They were both undefeated. Joshua had 3 belts. Wilder had the WBC belt. So it would have been for Undisputed. It would have been 2 undefeated fighters. It would have been 2 former Olympic medalists, 1 gold, 1 bronze. It was going to be a big, big deal. You remember that time?
Yeah, man. Man, you bringing that up, bro. It just, man.
I'm hurting your heart right now. Yeah. Bringing that shit up.
Bro, I'm just like, man, bro, boxing that's what I'm saying. Like, man, Crawford and Spence, they can't do anything else, man. They gotta fight each other, man. If that don't happen, it's just gonna ruin shit, man.
No, but the reason I brought that time frame up is when that was happening, I was arguing with Wilder fans saying, "Yo, I think Joshua got it."
I had Joshua too, bro.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong, I'm thinking Wilder.
Bro, if Wilder hits that man's chin, bro, I don't even want. I'm gonna turn the TV off because when you turn it back on, you gonna see Joshua. Y'all want to see a dead body, like, bro?
No, the thing is, I was convinced that Joshua beats him. I was like, he has more skills. He's beat the better competition. He has more accomplishments because he brought 3 belts to the table and had a gold medal as opposed to a bronze medal. Like, I was like, he's way more accomplished, way more experienced. He may not have been as big a puncher as Wilder, But people sleep on Joshua's power. Joshua like he got power. Like his shit is ridiculous too. Is it Wilder strong? No, but he got superpower as well. So I was like, the only difference is, Joshua may not have a good as chin, but he had better skills. He'll be able to avoid Wilder's punches. That's
I'll
what
say
I
one thing, Joel.
at that time.
I think that Joshua, that right hand he took from Klitschko, I don't think Wilder could have took that. I'll be honest with you, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why. I've seen, bro. Come on, man. Wilder ass got popped by Eric Molina, bro. Man, that boy chicken dance. And I know he put him down, knocked him out. But I'm saying, man, it's like if you get a good shot on Wilder, man, you got a chance because he's only like 217 pounds, man.
And honestly, I think Klitschko had too much skill for Wilder, which is why Wilder never fought him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think Klitschko would have found a way to beat Wilder. Klitschko had too much experience with too many different styles, and although he was chinny at times, I feel like he had enough skills to. He had enough skills, and Wilder had lacking in enough skills where I feel like Klitschko would have beat him, and that's not the case for Joshua. Joshua beat Klitschko.
That was a good fight, man.
To me, that's the best heavyweight fight I've seen since like Klitschko, Lennox Lewis. Like that's how good that fight was.
That was I think, yeah, of course it was Saturday, but man, I remember it was daytime. I was just there with my grandpa because my grandpa was more of a boxing fan than me, so he knew. He was like, man, he's like, I'm excited to see what this Joshua kid does, because Joshua's all up and coming, man. He did that, and I was, man. But when we saw Joshua get dropped, man, I was like, whew. That was a vicious right hand, bro.
I thought for sure he was done because he was tired and he was hurt. So that's a bad combination. So I was like, you don't recover from being tired, in 10 seconds. It takes a long time. And then on top of it, you hurt from Klitschko, an experienced heavyweight who's a power puncher. I was like, there's no way. There's no way he's going to survive this. And he did. Not only did he survive it, he came back and stopped Klitschko. That was a fantastic fight, man. What's funny? I actually watched that fight like 2-3 weeks ago. I was at home. I was like, there was not much to do. I was like, damn, there's nothing on TV. I was like, you know what? Let me watch this fight. And I was like, wow. Max Kellerman to this day says that was the best fight he's ever called.
Shit, man. If Max Kellerman's telling you that, then hey, man, you can't question the dude because, Max Kellerman doesn't seen it all, bro. And it's like, man, no, I'm saying, man, that's why when I watch some heavyweight highlights, I'm over there like, because all I do is watch boxing highlights when I come home from the gym. But then I'm like, shit, do I really want to fight a heavyweight? You know what I mean, bro? I'm like, shit, I can make cruiserweight. Yeah, bro, that's what. No, I'm going to start at cruiserweight, bro. That's my plan.
Yeah, man, definitely. Don't get me wrong. I know that heavyweight money's enticing, but,
Nah. I'd be good I'd be good, man. Really, I win a belt at cruiserweight. I should still get paid good. I hope.
Well, you got to get an amateur fight though before we start talking about belts and shit. Get a couple amateur fights, man. I know. I want to see you fight.
I'm getting some good sparring though. That's what I'm glad for, bro. I've been getting some good sparring this past month, and hey, man, thank God. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, shit helps.
Yeah, man. One day you out here in New York, don't worry, I'll beat you up in sparring.
Shit, now if I put on the title gloves.
Nah, man, I gotta get in shape, man. You don't know how many subscribers want to spar me. I'm like, hold on, I haven't been running.
It's pretty good, man. It's Hitman. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He showed me a video of him on the bag, and I ain't gonna lie, man. Hitman's pretty good.
I seen him sparring. I seen Hitman spar. Times he's a bit straight up, I feel, but he definitely has the mentality. He was very aggressive and like in a good way, like where he's not scared of, to mix it up. And I like to see a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but one more. I was gonna say, bro, what you think about the heavyweight championship of the world, bro? Trevor Bryant versus Daniel Dubois. My guy,
man, damn well that ain't no heavyweight championship fight. But Trevor Bryant, undefeated fighter. Daniel Dubois only has one loss. It's funny. It actually should be a decent fight. I'm not gonna say it's a must-watch TV.
Yeah. Nah. It's on pay-per-view, man. Like, come on, man.
Don King out here being disrespectful.
I'm glad they giving my boy Mac. I love Mac Truck, man. Mac Truck, that heavyweight dude, man. He's
Yeah,
a
he
great
from
guy,
Atlanta,
man.
right?
Yeah, man. The Mac Truck is a great dude, man. Like I don't even care, like if I'm saying if I make it with Mac Truck is at, man, I would never hate on that man. Mac Truck is such a nice dude. You see how hard he works, man. I love Mac Truck, man. I hope he becomes heavyweight
I like his
champion.
trainer, man. His trainer like really be
Mustafa,
schooling.
right? I think.
Yeah,
And
Mustafa. He
man,
really be
great guy,
schooling on the
man.
history of boxing, and as
Mm-hmm.
well as the science of boxing. Because a lot of people don't understand how boxing is a science, how slipping and certain counters, and how he likes to teach his fighters to keep his left hand down for a specific reason because it helps with balance. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
really into the science of boxing. So I really like his Instagram. He's really good.
Yeah, I follow him too, man. I think Matt Truck's gonna be a good man. I know he's only about 5'10", 5'11", but man, that dude he shows some really good skills for his size, man. And I'm gonna be honest, I see Mac Truck for a dude like that. That dude got a gas tank for real. I'm sure he does, man. That dude, he has good stamina, man. You can tell how hard he works, and man, I wish Mac Truck all the best, man. I think he's gonna be good. 7-0. He's already he's like number 14, bro, in the WBA.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at the rankings, I was surprised to see him there, but I think it's because he won a regional belt.
Yeah, anytime you win one of those regional, but that's why when people make fun of like, oh, he won a regional, I'm like, yeah,
Nah, I
like,
don't make fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
now the belt don't mean nothing in the grand scheme of not in the grand scheme. It doesn't mean anything to like the fans because like
Mm-hmm.
WBO Intercontinentals, like who gives a fuck about that?
That's some WWE type shit.
Yeah, but when you win those belts and you
Get high.
defend them, you move up in the rankings like
Mm-hmm.
pretty big. So a lot of the WBC, they have a lot of like WBC Fede Latin, Fede Caribox,
The WBC silver. Like
WBC
all that.
Silver, all these like clown ass fucking belts. But at the end of the day, those rankings get you those belts get you ranked, and the faster you move up, the more you can become the mandatory to fight for a real belt. If they don't try to fuck with you, they're doing that to Puello, they're doing that to
Oh
fucking,
man, I hope
they
they
did
don't
it to
screw your
Haney,
Dominican brother, bro.
they did it to Haney at the WBC. Like a lot of times when you become a mandatory, sometimes it gets difficult, but. Um,
Man, I hope your bro doesn't get screwed though, man. That's just wrong, man.
I
That's
mean, from what I heard about Alberto Puello is he's gonna be good because he's the mandatory. He was the one that
Mhm.
fought that was present at the purse bid, and so what most likely was gonna happen is Alberto Puello is gonna be one of the fighters fighting for the vacant, but they're just trying to look for who the second fighter is, which is ridiculous, by the way. It's
Mhm.
absolutely ridiculous.
I hate to say it, man, but you know what I think is gonna happen, bro. I think it's because he could make the easiest case. I think it's gonna be Puello versus Regis, and the reason why, bro, is because all Regis got to tell him is because that used to be my belt. You know what I mean, bro? That's all he got to say, and man, I'm not saying like if Puello were to fight what's the other dude? I think that dude I thought he beat my guy Barrios. Not gonna lie, that dude from Uzbekistan, I think, or something like that. His name's like Bakhtir.
Akmadov.
Yeah, him. I mean, if Puello faces him, I guess that's still good, but I really think it's probably gonna be Regis, man, because I feel like that's all he's got to say, bro. He's like, "Oh, that used to be my belt." So I mean, none of these other guys won it. I won that belt, so he's gonna say I should fight for it again.
No, I listen. Again, like I totally agree with you. If you want to make the argument, all right, who has the most say? Regis Prograis definitely does for that specific reason you just said. But
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's wrong to Barroso, who I personally don't think deserves to be in the mandatory position. But the fact that he's ranked number 2 and y'all just gonna disrespect him and his ranking and not giving him the fight,
Yep.
that's fucking wrong, bro.
Yeah,
That is wrong.
it's another. I mean, not necessarily that because they actually had the belt, but it's gonna be another, and that's my favorite fight, man. But that Tank and Machado stuff was messed up, man. That was I thought that was pretty fucked up, man. They just out of nowhere, man. To see that's the type of shit I'm talking about. They literally had the belts like at the wherever both. I think they fought on the same day or whatever, man. Machado and Tank. They just switched them out. when Machado won, there's like, oh yeah, here's the regular belt. Tank wins it, like, yeah, here's the super belt. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't just. I don't understand that type of stuff, man. Like, if you just have one champion, why do we need a super champion?
Why? Because they want money. Those sanctioning bodies, those blood sucking sanctioning bodies, want every fucking penny they can get. Man, the WBA, they be doing some disgusting fucking business.
And
Like,
that's a shame, bro, because the WBA belt is actually beautiful. That's a
yeah, I
beautiful
like it with
belt,
the
man.
lions and stuff like that. To me, the
Mm-hmm.
WBC belt is the best looking one. It's
That's the one I want, man.
that's the best
If I
looking one.
get
And
in
what
that
I like
belt, man,
about
that
the
shit's pretty,
WBC,
man.
the WBC is when they got these special diamond belts and then all these kinds of extra like weird belts that they attach to certain fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, those look really nice. Let me see if I
Yeah,
can
man,
find
they're
some.
pretty, man. They're like trophies. That's why. We all as boxing fans, we see regular belts, this and that. Yeah, that shit is stupid. But I'm never gonna hate on no fighter when they win a belt in general, because like, hey man, that's a trophy. Like, it's you showing that you working hard, you getting in the spot to get the biggest belt that you want, whether it's the WBC, IBF or the WBO. Man, fuck the WBA. I'm not even talking about that belt no more, man, because that. Nah, for real, man. I agree with you, bro, man. The WBA, I think that for real that they're gonna cause a lot of these boxers to not even want to fight for their rankings. Really, man. I mean, how could you be a boxer and you get the choice to choose the IBF or the WBA, man? Which one do you think you're gonna get a fair share in? Like, come on, man.
Yo, look at this belt. I'm screen sharing it. Tell me this shit ain't pretty. This black one.
That's pretty.
Yeah, man. Like this is the tail Ucan belt. So like they always make these like special kinds of belt. Hold on 1 second. We got a better look right here. Look how nice that is. So they always like do these like special belts. Look at this one. Like, yo, these belts is fire, bro.
Oh, the belts is fire, bro. It's just like I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to some boxers because you just give a belt to everybody, bro. And then, you got other boxers looking around like, hey, man, you know what I mean? It's like, man, I worked all this time to get, even if it's not the real world title, but you got other dudes. Like, for example, bro, Maestre, man, the dude that fought Michael Fox, man, dude's like 3-0 and he's fighting for an interim belt, bro. Like, that's disgraceful.
And the interim belt where the champion is actually being active. An
That
interim belt is for when a fighter is injured, going through legal problems, something like that, where he can't defend it. And then what they do is they have an interim champion fight, and then when that champion is done with his problems, whether it be legal or injury wise, he has to come back and defend it against
the
the interim
interim
champion.
champ. It's a
So
shame, bro.
what the WBA was doing, well, I was gonna say was, but they still doing that bullshit. What they would have
Mm-hmm.
is to have a champion, the super champion, the regular champion, and an interim champion. And it didn't matter how active the regular or the super champion was. They will also have an interim. So they was collecting sanctioning fees on 3 fighters in one division.
That's the type of stuff that pisses me off because, like you just said, bro, 3 fighters, 3 sanctioning fees, and then the funny thing is, even if it's the super champion who hasn't defended, bro, it could be cough cough Leo Santa Cruz, bro. Like, nah, bro, for real, like, come on, man, they over here like.
Nah,
I
you're
think
right. You're right. You're
Josh
right.
Taylor should have been stripped because if you're not gonna fight Puello, then you got to drop the belt. That's the rule. Here's the point, though. You gonna strip Josh Taylor like that's the first WBA champion you go after, but then you got Arsen Gulamarian, Leo Santa Cruz. They just holding their super champion belt. Arsen hasn't fought since 2019. I don't understand, man. Like,
No, and to your point, I read an article where the WBC president Mauricio Suleiman, who's no angel himself, by the way,
nah.
he said that that all the sanctioning body presidents, they met in Puerto Rico and they agreed that the IBF will be the first to mandate against Josh Taylor, which he took care of that in I forget the guy's name. It was a Thailand, a Thai
Man,
fight.
that was a horrible fight.
Yeah, it was like a first round knockout or something. But he took care of that.
Fight.
Next in line was the WBO. He fought Catterall, so he took care of that. and next in line was supposed to be for the WBC. And out of nowhere, the WBA just skipped in line and then ended up putting in a purse bid, which the winning bid was $200,000. Where obviously Josh Taylor's not going to fight for that amount of money, so he vacated or whatever, allow himself to get stripped when it wasn't their turn to mandate the fight. It was Jose Zepeda's turn and for the WBC, that's the fight that's being negotiated right now. By the way, if you guys are not aware. I don't understand what games these sanctioning bodies are playing, but apparently they were in a rush to. I don't understand. They were in a rush, right, to strip him, but now they don't even know who's fighting for the vacant.
Man,
it's like you're in a rush to strip a guy when it's not even your turn, and then all right, the vacant. I don't know. You guys have to convince me which one of you two deserve to fight for this title. What the fuck is going on, man?
I don't know, man. I wonder, would they do that at 130 pounds? I mean, I guess Roger Gutierrez is technically the champion, right? WBA. Yeah, he is. He's just a regular champ. But I'm saying, well, with the winner of Gutierrez and your boy Garcia, I mean, would they be the super champion? You would think, right? Like,
wait, if I'm not mistaken, Gutierrez is the super champion, no?
No, because they never upgraded him. Like Tank vacated the belt, and they were just like, "Oh, well, Roger Gutierrez is the WBA champion," but they never upgraded him to like fully super champion. Jordan. See, that's my question. Because look, you go by some weight classes, you have a super champion, and then you go to some weight classes, and it's like they don't have a super champion. Like, bro.
Yeah, listen, man, it beats me, bro. It like you preaching to the choir. You preaching to the choir. I have no idea what these sanctioning bodies be doing. I'm double checking right now.
Even Inoue, bro. Inoue doesn't even carry the super belt. He just carries the regular WBA belt. Like, man, I don't understand what they do, but I mean, that's the WBA for you, man. Their rankings are dog shit, man. I be thinking the IBF rankings are bad, man. They had fucking Ricky Burns was ranked in the lightweight division, bro.
Yo, but even if you wanna take it a step further, how the fuck did like Puello get a mandatory position? You know he's my guy, but like
he hasn't beaten like none of the top dudes.
Hold on, I got another guest. Hold on.
What's going on, Joe?
What's going on, brother?
Man, I wanted to sit here and talk to you about the fight that's coming up with Tank and Rolly, man.
Tank and Rolly, talk to me. What's your opinion, man?
I mean, Rolly could bang too. He can hit hard. So how do you see a bigger man? I mean, skill-wise, we know Tank is there. But if Rolly catch him with one of them bombs, we could see things changing up in the lightweight division.
Yeah, the only thing is, man, if Jackson Marinez can outbox you, who's not nearly as fast, not nearly as powerful as a Tank, what do you think Tank's gonna do? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Rolly's style is to get in aggressive and try to push you and mug you, and he has a really ugly style,
street nigga style.
Yeah, yeah.
But Tank likes to go in there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If you trying to go to war, you trying to bang, you trying to do all this shit, you doing that against a power puncher who's way faster than you, I don't think that's a good idea. I got Tank by knockout.
Okay, you got Tank. That puts our boy Michelle Rivera right there.
Yeah, man. But when I had Michelle Rivera, you Dominican?
Of course, man.
Oh, shout out to you, man.
You know, we have some great moments right now.
Yeah. Yo, these Dominicans coming up, man. I keep telling you, yo, I had Michael on. Michael's the guy in the middle talking. Let him know that I got Elvis Rodriguez beats the shit out of Subriel Matias, man.
Matias, volume punching, coming forward.
I just think he's too easy to hit, bro. He's too easy to hit.
As a boxing fan, that's a good. I wouldn't want to see them now fighting each other now.
No, I know. Well, right now he's number 2 in the IBF, so he's gonna eventually fight an eliminator, and if he could win that fight, he'll be the mandatory for the IBF champion. I don't know if Josh Taylor will still have that belt by then, but let's just say he vacates, moves up to 147.
Nah, but Puello can get the belt, and then Matias can get 2 Dominicans.
Yeah, if Puello can get the WBA, hold on. It's because we can have a DR. Because you from New York? You live in New York, Juan?
Well, originally from New York, but moved to Jersey. So I'm
Okay.
not far away.
Well, me and you know that New York is full of Dominicans and full of Puerto Ricans. So my dream is to have a Dominican versus Puerto Rican fight in MSG.
Oh goodness! After a Dominican parade, like they used to do with Cotto,
bro.
These fighters, these Dominican, especially Michelle, talks English. They could promote this guy right after like a Dominican parade, Puerto Rico. Oh man,
Puerto Rican parade, Puerto Rican Day parade, or we could Dominican Independence. We could do something. We could get creative. So if Puello could get a belt, let's say he gets that WBA strap, and let's say Subriel Matias gets that IBF belt, we could have that unification here in New York. That should have sell out, man.
Of course, if they promote these guys the right way.
They got to promote it the right way. And you know damn well my channel, I'm gonna be going crazy. And by the way, I actually like Subriel Matias. I just like teasing my man Michael. He's on the chat.
No, man, I love both of them, man. It's kind of why when they fight, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know if I'm gonna go for anybody because I love both of them,
but either way, I just like the idea of a Puerto Rican fighting a Dominican in New York. That's it. And let the best man win. Obviously, I'm gonna be rooting for my people. I'm rooting for my Dominicans, but that's what I want to see, man.
At the lightweight division, man, I'm gonna tell you because I'm big on Michel Rivera. He measures the distance well, can box well, has some pop in there too. I like him against most of the elite lightweights. I just think he hasn't gotten his opportunity yet.
I mean, last time I spoke to him, I don't know if you saw the interview. He told me that the WBA said that after Tank fights Rody, that he's next up against Tank. I don't necessarily believe it, to be honest with you. I don't believe that's his next fight. But
I can see him doing the IBF eliminator because Rivera's up there in the IBF.
Rivera's up there in the WBA and in the IBF, but he's not gonna. He should go to IBF route. Fuck the WBA. They're gonna find a way to screw him.
Yeah, that's why Haney made a mistake. Haney used to be in the IBF route, but he went the WBC route, man.
Yeah, and that's why Tio got to co-main first.
And I give all credit to Tio because he's smart. Well, I hope he's okay, man. That's the one thing. I hope he's doing good.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Tio. I DM Tio every now and then, and I'm trying to get a Tio interview, man. Y'all need to spam his Twitter account.
You know these guys are Cinderella, man. Once they get up there. And they name goes up there. It's hard to get these guys, man. And the shame of it all the great fights that can be made at lightweight, man. And these guys, man, with their diva moves, and these promoters, man, not wanting to put them against elite competition. It's sad. It hurts the sport, man. But I guess it makes the bigger fight later on. It makes it bigger.
Yeah. But Juan, so out of all the Dominicans, you highest on Michel?
I think Michel could be your boy. Yeah, I really think.
Come on, man. Yo, don't start that now.
Michel can be Elvis.
Don't start that now. You gonna get me turned up out here. Listen, man, Elvis Rodriguez is the best Dominican right now. I'm telling you, brother. Telling you.
Resume-wise, you have to give it to Michel.
No, resume-wise, listen, if you're going resume-wise, probably it's either Javier Fortuna or Hector Luis Garcia, who just beat Chris Colbert. You know, like it's one of those guys who, if we talk about resume, but we talk about these prospects, the young dudes coming up, who I think has the most talent. Listen, I'm going Elvis,
got
bro.
the most
I got
talent.
Elvis.
Yeah, he do.
Ladarius Miller has a similar style to Sims, and he washed your boy. He washed your boy. The fight wasn't even close. Michel Rivera clean the slate with him. He won all the judges' scorecards, 97, 93.
Hold on. So you're gonna first of all, Ladarius Miller. Come on, you're gonna compare Ladarius Miller to Kenneth Sims? They don't have a similar style. If you sort of fight against Elvis, he got outboxed, and that guy has a really extensive amateur record and had a draw with Montana Love, and in his last fight beat another undefeated fighter. So Kenneth Sims is a good fighter. People look at the 2 losses and think this is just some bum. Kenneth Sims is a good fighter. He took that L, okay. And I'm not even going to argue. I'm not going to say he got robbed. No, he lost that fight clearly. But if you've seen how he's looked afterwards, And the fight afterwards, he knocked out an undefeated Olympian on the Canelo undercard. Then went on to beat this Argentinian dude by stoppage in a fantastic performance. And listen, in that last fight, both their last fight that they fought in the same undercard, Elvis Rodriguez and Michelle Rowe, they fought in the same undercard. You're not gonna tell me that Elvis Rodriguez ain't look more impressive.
Of course, he got power. He looked. But we talking about overall boxing ability. Joseph Adorno was an undefeated fighter. Matias Romero gave Isaac Cruz hell in his fight. John Fernandez, strong, pop, tall fighter, washed him. Anthony, what's this guy that beat up Renee Tellez Jerome that beat who's the guy that he beat up that was an Olympian?
LPV or whatever. One Pablo Escobar, something like that.
Yeah, like he washed them too. So he's washing a lot of guys.
Look, I'm not. Listen. I interviewed both. I'm a fan of both. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting on Michelle. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying from the eye test. If you telling me, yo, you got $1 million, bet who you think is gonna have a better career. I'm putting it on Elvis. That's the way I look at it.
Our boy speaks English. Rivera.
You gonna start a new rivalry. You gonna start a Dominican rivalry.
Got the whole Ali thing going. Box, kaboom, kapop.
Nah, my man's pretty. First of all, my man is bigger. He's 140 pounder. So he's bigger. Let's just say
he walks around at a good 150.
Yeah, he moves up. He's still the smaller fighter. My man pro debut at 140. And he got more power. He got boxing ability. His trainer's Freddie Roach, who trained a all-time great southpaw Manny Pacquiao. Come on, man. He training in Wild Card Gym. That's about to be his gym. Come on, you crazy?
I don't think he touches Rivera. Rivera measures distance well. Think about it. Measures distance well. I don't see a lot of guys touching him at that division. I really don't. I think he washes Rolly. If Rolly's his next fight, I think he washes. If Marinas can do what he did to Rolly, Rivera's it's definitely gonna.
No, I'm not gonna argue that. I think definitely Michelle Rivera beats Rolly. All right, so
have you even heard all the fighters that didn't take the fight with Michelle Rivera? Isaac Cruz didn't take a fight with him. The guy that fought that David Haney fought last didn't take the fight with him. What's his name?
Jorge Linares.
Linares didn't want to take the fight with him.
I hold on. I haven't heard any reports of
Eliminator at WBA.
Well, the WBA did order that, but they never fought for some reason.
Yeah, no.
With Linares?
Yeah, you can actually find the tweet too, I believe, Joel, because I saw that tweet. They ordered Rivera versus Linares.
Yo, hold on. Let me give a tail of the tape. They both are 5'9", and they both have 71-inch reach. So it's exactly the same. Michelle Rivera is 24. Elvis Rodriguez is 26. So my man got his man strength already. Like your man's still developing. Don't get your man knocked out moving up to 140, man. Leave him away from Elvis, man. Trust me, you don't want that.
Yeah, keep Fortuna away from my boy Frank Martin, man. This man down in this bitch. You know what time it is, man.
The only way I see Fortuna coming back is if he gets some type of a big fight, and it seems like a lot of
so fight Ryan, man.
There's a rumor that he's gonna be fighting Ryan in July. I got in contact with Javier.
Hope he knocks Ryan the fuck out.
I got in contact with Javier Fortuna's trainer, and he said that he hasn't been made aware of that he doesn't know nothing about that. But then there's a video on ES News where Samson Lukowitz is saying, listen, that they're in negotiations. So maybe that the word hasn't gotten back to his trainer, but there's a potential fight July, I believe 16th, that Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting Javier Fortuna.
He washes Fortuna. I'm sorry.
I agree.
I'll be on these guys' IGs, man. He's not in the gym every day. He's hitting arroz con habichuela, mangú. These Dominican fighters, that's our kryptonite, man. Weight.
Yeah, the weight.
Michelle Rivera's in the gym every day. I watch him. I'm on Instagram. I'm on his Instagram every day. workaholic, man.
You know who else be in the gym? Elvis Rodriguez.
No, but I'm very happy what's going on with the
Nah, yo, we got fighters coming up. We got Elvis. We got
Ronaldo.
Luis Reynaldo Nunez.
Mm-hmm. I like
Saturday.
him.
You watching a fight this Saturday? David Lemieux versus David Benavidez.
Definitely. We got
on the undercard. On the undercard, the first fight on that card is Jonathan Fierro versus Luis Reynaldo Nunez. Luis Reynaldo Nunez. He was the one that he was the headline in that showbox.
He's from PA. He's fighting out of PA, Dominican.
Yeah, him.
Oh, he's a talent.
Yo, he's aggressive. He got power. His last two fights have been undefeated fighters, and then this fight against Jonathan Fierro is another undefeated fight. That's going to be a very, very entertaining fight. Both are offensive fighters. Both are power punchers, and this is a big step up for both fights. Both fighters. One is 22. One is 19. So these are two really young guys, fucking going out and
19?
trying to show you. Yeah, Fierro is 19. The Mexican.
Oh, that's not surprising. That's what my boys do. They go pro early.
Yeah.
Shit, Joel, maybe a future matchup. Ronaldo against my compa, man. Luis Neri.
I like that fight. But not right now because Nunez is coming up, man. You can't just throw him in like that.
Oh, no, but I like him. He's a good fighter. He kind of look. I mean, I don't know how tall he is, but his box rec pick, he looked kind of tall for a 122 pounder.
Yeah, I think this fight coming up, if I'm not mistaken, is at 126.
Oh, okay.
How you feel about Crawford, man? Saying Spence, and I want Charlo next. That's interesting.
Yeah,
man, he better stay away from my Texas boys.
I did see that, but I don't know. He need to focus on Spence first before.
Right. I got Charlo losing against Fundora, man.
Whoa, you do?
Pressure?
No, my miss way.
That boy dangerous. That boy Fundora dangerous, man.
But he can crack though, man. Charlo can crack, man. So if
you're
coming in there all aggressive and shit, you might get your fucking head knocked off.
Even Tim Tszyu, I think, gives him problems. That's why I think he's moving up, man.
Man, Kazu trash.
Tim Tszyu don't give him no problem. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Kazu trash, like my boy Spence said. Kazu trash.
Tim Tszyu gives him no problems. I'm betting the fucking house on Charlo when that fight happens.
Charlo knock him out in the first round in an Australian stadium.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, Tim Tszyu is not shit. His father, Hall of Famer. I love his father. His father knocked out my Brooklyn brother in Zab Judah. He was lineal champion at 140. He gets full credit for his career. But Tim Tszyu is not beating Charlo. Trust me.
I mean, from his last fight, man, I saw somebody that could take a punch and still come and put pressure and hurt. So,
nah, bro. He is there.
He gonna feel that Texas power
all day. He don't move his head. He just come forward. Like, you remember when Floyd Mayweather used to say, "Oh, he just straight up and down, no special effects." That's exactly what he is.
That's who he is.
Like I don't see nothing.
So you think he stays at 154 in defense?
The thing is, who's at 150, 160 for him to fight? He gonna move up in 60 and fight who?
Exactly? There's no
like Boo Boo. He recently got surgery, so he's not gonna be fighting nobody, and he has a mandatory with the winner Janibek Dignum, and he possibly may be moving up to 68. Triple G, he has 2 belts, but it looks like he's probably gonna be either fighting Canelo, or I don't know what he's gonna do if he doesn't get the Canelo fight. But point is, we don't know where he's going. His brother is Charlo, Jermell, so he's not gonna be fighting his brother. It's like there's nothing for him at 160. At 154, you got Tim Tszyu, who's a big draw in Australia, so maybe he can, gain some fans by beating an Australian fighter, or maybe even going to Australia and defending his Undisputed championship. He got Fundora, which is a good fight. He got the potential of Terrence Crawford moving up to 154 and them two fighting. There's a lot of smoke at 154. At 160, that's the worst division in boxing. There's no reason for him to move up there.
Yeah, that's true. Who you got with Haney and Kambosos?
I'm not giving my prediction just yet. I'm not giving my.
You got money on it? He's silent. Like, what's the other brother on the line? Who you got there?
Michael, who you got? Haney or Kambosos?
I got Haney, but it's not gonna be easy at all. That speed, got to see if he can handle that.
Ferocious, man. That he a little.
That's what I like about Kambosos too. That name, Ferocious.
Yeah, he comes. Like, he's
Ferocious Kambosos, the Emperor.
Man, I see Haney measuring the distance well with him. But I don't think Kambosos is just going to stand there and let him just pop him.
Nah. I mean, I don't know. I came away really impressed with Kambosos' last performance against Teofimo. I was actually at that fight. I came away really impressed with his speed, the way he moves, the way he handled the distance and controlled the distance against Teo.
That Manny sparring, bro.
I don't think Teo that was the Teo that fought Loma. To be fair, I felt like he fought a totally different type of game plan. But either way, I still got to give him full credit for the performance he did in the other guy's home city. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, you got a treat if you was there live.
I was there live. Yeah.
How was your reaction? Almost had a heart attack with the first round knockdown.
Bro, I was there. Yo, because Teofimo's my favorite fighter. I was there talking mad shit. I was talking shit, right? So there was some dude sitting like 3-4 rows behind me. He was I don't know if he was British or Scottish. And so I was like, I thought he was Australian. I was like, yo, your boy's getting slapped. The fuck out of here. I was talking crazy, right? And I was having fun with it because
he came after him.
Like, no, but then he told me, he was like, yo, I'm not even Australia. I think he was Scottish. I'm Scottish. My guy's Josh Taylor. So I was like, get out of here, man. I was like, Josh Taylor get knocked out by Teo. I'm talking major shit. So then everybody's asking me, what's your prediction? I was like, man, Teo gonna smoke him in the first round. This is me talking shit in the crowd, right? I'm having fun, man. I'm having mad fun. Everybody around me's loving me. Like, yo, this dude's funny, taking pictures with me. Yo, videos. Yo, who's gonna win? Yo, first round, he gets dropped. Boom. Yo, everybody, yo, you literally see everybody who's sitting in front of me just go.
That was so satisfying, bro. I'm sorry, Joel, but I love seeing Teo get dropped.
That was satisfying because he was confused.
Yo, he was dominating that first round. I was like, yeah, get him. And then boom, and he caught him with a clean shot. That wasn't no flash knockdown.
If he comes after me in the first round, I might be the one to put him down in the first round.
Yeah, he got dropped in that first round. And then after that, Teo just kept pressing, and Kambosos just kept controlling the distance, moving, darting out with his feet. And then what impressed me most about Kambosos in that fight is that he would control the distance, and at times he would jump in, land 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 punches, and then jump right back out and control the distance that way. I was like,
I'm like,
bro, like he looked really, really good in that fight. Really, really
that's
good
what
in that fight.
And Joe, like, we're not getting to see the echelons of the division when these heavily promoted fighters are not put against fighters that we might not necessarily know, but have a decent enough resume to get an opportunity. You know, and when we get situations like that are mandated, it's like, wow. And
man.
And Mayweather did that whole 0, no losses. Everybody's trying to protect that.
Shit, the winner of that fight might be in trouble with they mandatory for the IBF. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a dangerous, risky fight, man. If they have to mandate that fight, whoever, they might lose their belts.
Yeah. What fight? The IBF mandatory in the lightweight division is some Argentinian guy named Gustavo Lemos. I'm telling you, you make
him. He just fought against
Lee Selby.
Lee Selby. Okay, who was the Filipino guy that was fighting an Argentinian guy, and the Argentinian just washed him? This guy had like consecutive of his record.
Talk about Fernando Martinez and Ancajas.
Yeah, he's a good fighter as well.
Yeah, no, but that's at a lower division. That's at I believe 115.
Oh,
I'm talking. Yeah, this 135-pounder named Gustavo Lemos. This guy's from Argentina. He's ranked number 1 in the IBF. If and when they mandate that fight, whoever has that belt better come with a fucking mouthpiece down. This kid is serious power, aggressive. He kind of reminds me of his.
He fights like Matisse.
Fights like Matisse, that aggressive, like boom, 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 and then really strong physically too. So like when you try to hold him, he'll throw your ass off of him. You know what I'm saying? Strong.
I would love to see him fight Isaac Cruz.
Oh man, that's a war. That's a war. I'm excited to see him fight in America. I checked who's his promoter. His promoter is an Argentinian guy. He is not like nobody.
Somebody call Samson.
Right? Call Samson to sign that man because I like that guy. We need to see him in America. We need to see him on US.
Man, Samson is who I want to sign with when I become a pro, Joe. I love Samson, man.
All the hoopla Isaac Cruz is receiving right now. I mean, he did well against Tank, but come on, against Gamboa. Gamboa's a shell of himself.
Yeah, I think Cruz is letting man, because I like Cruz too, y'all. But man, this dude's over here thinking he's the A side against Ryan. Like, yeah.
But I don't understand. I honestly don't understand why Cruz is being so resistant to taking that fight. That's a big money fight. It's for a WBC eliminators, so the winner will become a mandatory. Like, what
dude, Bryant fought a nobody, Joel. And here in San Antonio, he sold 12,000 tickets in Alabama, bro.
Yeah, and he said his next fight is going to be at the Staples Center with or without Cruz. You wouldn't want to fight. He already fought in the Staples Center against Tank. You wouldn't want to fight there again.
In there, man. He's tripping, bro.
They move him correctly. You don't take a fight against Michelle, which I know they offered it to him because Michelle said it on the interview. That would have been a great fight for him to even. But then you say no to the Ryan. They're trying to move him carefully because they know certain styles he doesn't mesh well against.
I don't think he beats either of those two guys. I don't think he beats Michelle, and I don't think he beats Garcia. So I think that may be his manager or promoter going, you know what? Let's just drum up a whole bunch of shit, eat off the fame of the fight potentially happen, but not getting him to fight. But I don't know who he fights, you know, in the interim. If he doesn't get Garcia, if he doesn't get Michelle Rivera, who does he fight?
There's nothing.
Let me look at the lightweight division, who he could fight. Because
an older washed up guy. What are your sources? What website for the rankings?
What was that?
What website you going for your rankings?
No.
Box Live.
I'm just going to BoxRec just to look at what fighters. But usually my rankings.
The rankings are on BoxLive.com, I believe.
Like you saying the sanctioning bodies?
Mm-hmm. If you look up boxing rankings, though, you'll see it, and it'll show the sanctioning body rankings.
Now the way when I want to look up the sanctioning bodies, I use the boxingvoice.com. Shout out to Nestor Gibbs, my Dominican brother.
Box Live is pretty good. They got all the top 15s in every weight.
That's how the boxingvoice.com has it as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so hold on, because my fucking computer froze for like a little bit. Yeah, let me look at, because like I don't know, Isaac Cruz is definitely an entertaining fighter, definitely somebody I want on my TV screen.
That's true.
I think he should try and fuck around and go to 130 if you ask me. But I mean,
with his height, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But the money, there's more money at 135.
Yeah, I understand. It's just like, because that's the thing. I agree on. You know, I don't really like Ryan, but no, Ryan does beat Cruz. But the thing, I'm not gonna lie, man. It might be hard to knock Cruz out, man. Dude got a fat ass head, man. Like, look at him, man. He's like, I agree. Like Ryan and Michelle, they just gonna jab his face off. But I'm saying, like, man, he got a fat ass head, man.
What do you think of Jojo Diaz and Isaac Cruz?
Oh.
Good fight.
That's a good fight, right?
Good fight.
Isn't Jojo going to jail though, or no?
Nah, he's getting sued. It's not a criminal charge.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man, fuck it.
Just
real Corrales also he could fight. Who else?
Some guys here I never heard of. Some Japanese guys, Man, these Mexicans, man, they be top 3 in the WBO.
Yeah, no. Yo, how about him and William Zepeda?
Oh, man.
Yo, bro. There's nothing but blood on the ring for that fight.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Zepeda's last performance was kind of questionable. Like I
didn't see his last performance. That was he fought on the Zundo.
He fought Rene Alvarado. He fought Rene Alvarado, the one that lost to Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. Yeah, I didn't see it because again, I was running around that day on last Saturday. That was last Saturday he fought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was running around. I didn't even get to see the Zurdo fight, man. I've been so busy.
Man, that shit was ass.
Saying don't watch it.
Nah, I just said it because fucking Polo, man, he's so biased with Zurdo, bro. I can't talk to him.
Polo thinks Zurdo's the next fucking Archie Moore.
Man, Bivol schools that man, bro.
I think we all got to deal with our own biases when we're dealing with it. You know, with fighters that we like and see, you know. But at the end of the day,
I hope not Berlanga though, man. Because Berlanga, not Berlanga, man. Because I can't watch Berlanga fight no more, man.
I mean, they moving him around smoothly, you know. Like,
yo, I was there for I was also there for his last fight. I was like, God damn. You know what's funny? I was like, yo, I'll never go to a Berlanga fight, right? And then he's fighting the June 11th, the eve of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And they put out that undercard, and I'm like, I don't know. I might just have to go. That's a nice undercard, and which I'm surprised because Top Rank known for having dog shit undercards. So they actually have a decent undercard. They have Henry LeBron, the Puerto Rican 130-pound fighter who I'm really, really high on. They got two undefeated fighters fighting. I forget their names. Julio Rosa and Omar Rosario, I believe is their names. And then they have John Bowser fighting, undefeated John Bowser fighting, what's his name? The guy who got knocked out by Zepeda in one round. Josue Vargas. So that's a decent fight. And to me, the loser of that fight gets released by Top Rank. That's just how they do.
That's how
I would release both, man. Fuck all that.
We lose the draw, just release both of them.
He picks them up as soon as they trade out.
To me, the loser of that fight gets released because John Bowser had a horrible, boring performance in his last fight. I was at his fight. He fought on the Berlanga card. And then also Josue Vargas, he got knocked out in the first round by Jose Zepeda. If he fucks around, gets knocked out again, Top Rank just going to release him. So the loser of that fight, I'm predicting, is going to get released.
Yeah, you got to perform when you with Top Rank. If you don't perform fights, they see you as winning. I don't know.
Especially if you Dominican.
Hey, man, I'm glad they dropped Elvis. I like Elvis on PBC. I don't care what nobody says. I like watching Elvis on Showtime.
Now, I listen, I do agree because, PBC does take care of their fighters. They do pay more. But I do like how ESPN was pushing Elvis hard, man. They was giving him a lot of airtime. Every time they would talk about him, they would talk about him being this special talent, how he may be prospect of the year and this and that. So I loved how they were moving him, but then once he took that loss, they just released his ass.
That's crazy, right?
He said that. Listen to this. When I interviewed him, he said that in his contract, even if he would have got a draw, they had the option to release him.
Wow.
They don't like Dominicans over there, man. They don't. And I know a little bit more of that, but that was told to me off the record that not his situation. I'm talking about somebody else. Somebody else told me about some things that be happening over there when it happens to Dominican fighters. I'm like, but I can't get too deep in.
When Michelle was coming out of DR and all the promoters were vetting him, he said that Top Rank, De La Hoya, they all reached out to him. He said that those promotional companies, they have a good history of promoting Dominican fighters. So he just went with Samson. And it's
and shout out to Samson, who I have a relationship with, and I gotta get him on the show.
On there, show him how.
I gotta get him love. I gotta get him love. He has mad love for Dominicans. Almost all the Dominican fighters are his. Almost all of them.
And he has dates with PBC, so that relationship, it works perfectly.
Yeah. I really like Samson. The only thing I don't like is that he be shitting on Andrade about not fighting Benavidez for whatever reason. Like if that's a fight the fans wouldn't want to see. That's the only thing I don't like about Samson. But I like Samson as what he doing for Dominicans, man. I gotta tell him he's safe out here in New York, man.
I've spoken to Samson about grabbing one of the biggest Dominican guys he have and promoting him around Dominican Day Parade.
I have. And the response I got, he was like, we'll see. Kind of like, this. Like I didn't really press him too much because it wasn't an interview. You get what I'm saying? It was just kind of like a conversation. So I didn't want to press him too much. But I was like, you know what? When I get him on the show, I'm gonna press him about it. And I told him what I did tell him though. I was like, listen, man, I'm Dominican. I'm from New York. There's a lot of Dominicans here in New York. If you need help promoting these guys, I'm not gonna charge you for any kind of advice you need. You want to call me up? Yo, what should I do here? What should I do there? I don't care. Call me up. I'll tell you where to go. Yo, go to Washington Heights. Yo, go to the Bronx. Yo, United.
Secure interview day with La Mega.
Yeah. Promote on La Mega. Put a card in United Palace in Washington Heights. I would give him that information for free. You don't need to pay me anything. And if you feel like you need to, because the advice I give you is so successful, just give me some tickets and I'll be good. Like, I don't need no money.
Plain and simple.
Plain and simple.
At the Barclays or Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, man. Man.
Hey,
Barclays is better, man. Barclays is the boxing venue.
Now, the thing is, Michael, with the fight being at the Barclays, I think it should be at Madison Square Garden. The Dominicans should be fighting because there's more Dominicans in Washington Heights. That's an easy train ride to Madison Square Garden. To get to the Barclays Center, it's a lot of fucking traffic. If people want to drive, then the trains, and it's a whole mess for the Dominicans uptown to get down to Brooklyn. It's just better if it's already in Manhattan for them. But yo, guys, I'm about to end this real quick. I appreciate you guys hopping on and having a conversation.
Pleasure, man.
Yo, Juan, you my guy. Anytime you want to hop on, bro, I always pin that link. You can hop on anytime, my brother.
No, man, I'm here, brother. I'm here. Take care, man. It was a pleasure.
All right, man. Peace. All right, guys. Holla at you. Hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time. Michael, you want one other thing? You want to promote your Twitter or something?
Nah, it's all good, bro. When I get my fights, though, my footage, if you could help me promote that, so I get some.
Yeah, man. I got you, bro. All you gotta do is just once you get your first amateur fight, a couple amateur fights, I'll put it up.
Yeah, thank. Appreciate you. Love you, bro.
Anytime, my brother. All right, guys. Peace.